new franchisee training. Super excited to have such an awesome group. It's a big group and I think we're going to have a lot of fun. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Ashley Davis. I am an instructor here at the Carlsbad Center and a training specialist, and I'm going to be the training specialist that's leading the new franchisee training in November. So I'm going to be working with each of your trainees starting next week and encourage all of you to be on those Skype meetings and a part of the process. But really why we like to hold this call is just to give you guys a little bit of an overview of how our training process works so that you know a little bit more about what to actually expect, and kind of you can help guide your trainees through the process. And we really like to approach it as we like to be a team of support for them, so everybody on the same page, really helping them to be successful. So the idea is we really want everyone going into training feeling like they are prepared, ready to go. They know exactly what's expected of them and they're ready to be successful. So that is definitely our main goal. So just giving you again a little bit of an overview and a little bit more information about what to expect through this process and what happens over the next few weeks up until actual training and audition day. And of course, if you have any questions at any point, go ahead and let me know and I'll do my best to answer and field any of the questions that you have. And I also am recording this call, so you'll be able to come back and view it as needed, and I'll send the link out to everybody so that those of us that weren't able to join will be able to see the information as well. So first off, starting with just a little bit of an overview. Essentially, because we want everyone to be prepared and feel ready to go, we start working with each of the trainees starting 5 weeks out before training. So the way that process goes is each week I'm going to send kind of an email homework assignment to your trainee, and you will be CC'd on all of the correspondence that goes to your trainee, so that again, you're in the loop and we're all on the same page. They'll have an assignment. Usually I break it into threes. So they'll have 3 routines at a time that they're going to start working on choreography and movements, work with you, work on their own, however you guys would like to set it up. And then they're gonna video. They're gonna video the intro, parts A, B, and then if there is a part C, they'll video part C. So it usually ends up being around a minute or so of choreography. You can do this on a tablet, whatever's easiest. The iPhones, the iPads tend to work really well because you can just usually upload to a Google Drive right from that device, which is very easy. And of course, we want to keep it as easy as possible for everybody. With technology these days, there's a lot, and I know it can get really overwhelming. So I encourage you, if you have questions, ask me, and we don't want any added stress on the technological end. So we'll keep those lines of communication open for sure. But they'll be videoing each like minute or so of each of those 3 routines, and then they're going to upload it to a link to a Google Drive that I have sent out now that we have scheduled those first meetings. So they've got access to those folders. They'll just upload their video right into those folders 24 hours prior to our scheduled meeting time. And that way we can take a look, I'll take a look, and we'll have a very productive Skype meeting or a Skype call where we discuss what's happening with those original 3 routines. We're going to look at movement first and work on movement first for the first couple of weeks, and then we'll start to bring in cueing as they get a little bit more comfortable with the movement choreography. So again, each week we're taking a look at 3 routines, we're talking about movement, we're making any tweaks or adjustments to movements or adjustments to intensity, technique, and then looking at the cueing and how the cueing is coming along, and if the cueing is in time, able to safely transition with those cues ahead of the transition in music. That's going to be our goal for training and for audition. So 5 weeks we've got to really connect with them, work with each other. The weekly check-ins are also a really great opportunity for, to assess how they're feeling, what's working, what might not be working, if they have any specific questions, if they need a little bit more time here or there. It just is a great check-in point as well. So again, we really like to approach it from a team standpoint. So I encourage all of you. It does really make such a difference when the mentors are on the calls. I know scheduling sometimes it just does not work, but even if you can really just get with your trainees close after the call so that you know, okay, this is what was said. I always email everything that we discussed for each call, movement wise or correction wise. I always send out a follow-up email with that information as well, so that again, you guys are CC'd and you know, and we're all kind of coming from the same place and they're hearing the same feedback, so to speak. So that's really the process up until training day and audition. So they've got 6 routines for audition, 6 cardio routines. Those 6 are going to be the ones that we're working on and meeting weekly about up until training and audition. They will be teaching one of those routines for training at the audition. So they know they're going to be randomly assigned one of those 6 to teach. There is a 7th routine that will be sent to them about 10 days out from training, and this is going to be for sure the 2nd audition routine that they teach. So they're going to teach a total of 2 for the audition, and again, the first one is randomly assigned. The second one, this is a routine that they receive via email, the choreography about a week before, and they know for sure that they're going to teach it, but this is one that I will not see beforehand, so it's kind of their opportunity to really try on the role of being an instructor and see how that feels to receive choreography, have to interpret it, and then have to reproduce it and be able to lead customers in a class. So that's a really fun, actually, part of the process that I love that we've added, because we try to do it so that each of the trainees in the audition group have some different routines. So it's fresh choreography for them as well. And, you know, they've been working on these 6 and everybody knows them. And so they know those movements so well. So this is a really nice, refreshing opportunity for them to really feel what it feels like to be leading a class and having to guide people through movements. So that's essentially what is expected for the audition portion. Audition and training are on the same day. Now, everything's going to happen on that Saturday. The training process is 3 to 3.5 hours, and really the main goal in a nutshell is we're trying to prepare them to teach their very first class. So the goal is that by the end of training that day, they are prepared to lead their first class. That's the main goal. We focus a lot on movement technique, movement intensity. We talk a lot about cueing and approaches to cueing, and we also just talk a little bit about the role of being an instructor and professionalism and what that means to be up on a stage leading the room. So that's training in a nutshell. We take a break and then we come back for the audition. So because Carlsbad is a good sized group, which is super exciting, we're going to have definitely a couple of different audition groups. So I've let the trainees know that as the date gets closer, they'll know which group that they're going to be a part of. So they'll know when to be back at the center for audition after we take a little bit of a break, just so that you guys are aware too of how the process works and the timing of everything, since we're close by. Any questions so far just about the process up until this point or about training day and audition? Good, you guys are so good. You're such good mentors. Okay, well, if anything comes up, let me know. So let me see what else, what other information that I need to get out to you. So we let them know that the results of audition that same afternoon and evening. So we don't make them wait. As soon as audition is over and we've done our closing and said goodbye, we go right back home and start working on emails to get all the information out to everyone so that they are not waiting, they know. So you will have an answer later on that afternoon or evening. And essentially, our goal is after training, we're going to kickstart them to hit the ground running to team teach a class. So if you have not already seen the training materials, in that first initial email that I sent to you letting you know, congratulations, your applicant has been approved, there's a great easy link to the training materials there. So all of your trainees have received the training materials already. You have this access to them as well. I always recommend just popping in, taking a look. You'll see the folder that's got the cardio audition routines that they're going to be working on, so that you know those 6 routines that they're going to need some help with. You're also going to see a folder that says routines that are not for audition, and then strength routines that are not for audition. So these essentially are going to be the routines that are going to, after the fact, make up their first class set. So everything's current for them, and the idea is after they spend these 5 to 6 weeks working on these routines for audition, they pass their audition, they start working on the remaining routines that they're going to need to start team teaching, and then eventually be able to teach their first class. So as soon as we can, as soon as they're passed and they're ready, we like to really carry on that excitement and get them going. It's always that first initial class or team teaching situation that it's like, okay, I just did training, and it's so nerve-wracking. So I feel like that's where they really need the support the most, to say, hey, let's do this, let's plan your time to team teach, you're ready, I got you. Like, that support system, I think, is really important for them, that initial hump. So they've got those 6 cardio routines that they're ready to go. We just suggest, having them team teach with you a few of those cardio audition routines that they know so well. And then we can start working in some of those extra not for audition routines that are going to make up that first class set for them. So that's kind of the goal in the plan. Hi Sharon, coming on. That's the goal in the plan for just after training. And again, I just like to emphasize that because I think that it is a really a nerve-wracking time for them. So just having that support system is, I've noticed in the past, has been really important. They have so training itself really focuses a lot, again, on being able to lead their first class and teach. It's movement technique and cueing and professionalism. We don't get into a whole lot of the set structure just yet. We've really found that movement needs to be the main focus and teaching needs to be the main focus. When we start throwing in the set structure at them right away, it gets a little overwhelming. So what we're doing now is 2 to 3 weeks after training, those that have passed training, we reconnect for some ongoing training, and we have a set structure webinar. So that's where they get all of the breakdown of the way that we put sets together, the perceived exertion chart, the curve, all of the rules and regulations for set structure, and we really guide them on how to prepare their sets each week and modify their sets each week. And at that point, they have access to the studios, so they're able to go and look at the different class formats and how those structures are laid out. So it just makes a little bit more sense logistically, and again, we found it really allows them to be a little bit more successful. So set structure webinar happens after the fact. We have a little assignment where they modify sets, and we give some feedback on feel and flow and the changes that they've made. We have a 3-month set structure check, and then a 6-month first assessment. So that's sort of the timeline of how things happen post-training. Just again to keep you aware of the expectations and what they're going to be going through up until training, and then just after training. So having the support of getting them teaching, getting them team teaching, having them comfortable on stage is awesome and huge, and the more that we can, I think, facilitate that and support that, the more success that we see in that first 6-month assessment, for sure. So any questions about that or what's happening after training? You guys are so good. Okay, let me just check my list and make sure that I've gotten all of the info out to you that you need. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, I think that's it. I think that's perfect. You guys have everything you need to know.
Ashley,
oh,
really? Sorry. Ashley,
go ahead.
Just to be clear, right now the main focus going into this next week is movement, and then later we'll add cueing to it. Is that still correct?
That's correct, yes. So first focus is going to